Welcome back to PLATT365. We have a special edition today. We're going to take you through all the equipment we purchased for our RV. We have a whole list of all the things we bought. In case you didn't know, when you buy an RV, it doesn't come with...
Sorry, that was B.
A B. It doesn't come with all the extra hoses and valves, all the stuff that you need in addition to the RV. So, we found a really neat YouTube channel called Keep Your Daydream, and they have an Amazon page which lists everything out that you need.
Which is extremely helpful.
Yes.
And very, very good for us because we're newbies, did not know what we were doing. We found their Amazon webpage and we just hit buy all.
Yeah, and we bought like everything. So what we're here to share with you about is the stuff we bought, what was good, what was not so good, and some of the stuff we didn't even use. But yeah, so we'll put a link down below for their Amazon page. We did not get any kickback, we didn't get any percentage, we didn't get any of this for free. Keep Your Daydream does have a little percentage that they get, which is fine. It was really great that they recommended all that stuff. So let's jump right into these pieces that we purchased. We'll talk about them a little bit. Starting off with our first item.
The Stinky Slinky.
Yes, and
otherwise known as the connector for your sewers.
Sewer hose, yeah.
So your sewer hoses for both your gray water and your black water, you need a sewer hose to get from the tanks in your rig into the hole in the ground where you're dumping things.
Yeah, and it looks something like this. Now let's talk about this a little bit. I don't like touching it too much. So when you have two restrooms like we do, you're gonna need probably 3 hoses. We purchased, I think, 1 hose?
I think we purchased 2 initially.
Right.
I think we purchased 2, and then I don't know if we have 3 or 4 now.
We have 3. So in 6 months, we had a hose malfunction, and we'll put the link. You can see that if you want. It's not pleasant. But
it was more user error.
Yeah, so we had to buy a new hose. Let's just say that. So we've purchased 4 hoses, and we now have 3 of them.
Yes.
Which is great for our rig. Next.
Door lock.
Ooh, that's really cool.
This is one of my favorite items on the rig. It is the RV lock.
And it's actually installed on the...
It's installed on there, so you don't need to use a key. It does have a wireless key fob. We've never actually used it, but you just punch in the code. Our kids know our code and opens that. And I actually really want to get a second one of these for our back door.
We'll be getting another one of those.
Love that. Totally awesome.
What's next?
Wine glasses. Oh. Another of my favorites.
It's not even noon. Bullet.
Well, let's talk about these because I don't know if you can see here. They're plastic, which is great, but because they don't break.
Yes.
But talk about why you're not a huge fan of this.
So, I like having wine glasses because I am the wine person. The only problem is with them being plastic, they're very thin at the top, and it almost feels like it's gonna cut your lip because it's kind of sharp up there. So we're using them. They're fulfilling a purpose. I love that they're not gonna break.
Right.
I'm probably gonna bring 1 or 2 wine glasses,
and then also,
real ones with
I don't know if you can see, but as they kind of bonk around, they get like this little line on them. So, whatever. What's next?
They're plastic. It's what happens. Next is an angled valve.
What's that called? What is it?
An angled valve. Sorry.
Oh, that's on the rig.
I was making a face at the camera because I don't know what that is.
That's on the rig, and so I'll show that to you. But what that does is it creates so that your
the doohickey and the time and the place and the thing, and we'll never forget it.
So that your filter doesn't stick straight out, it goes down because the weight of that coming off the...
Got it. So it's the connector between the water filter and your rig so that your water filter is not at a perpendicular angle to the side of your rig.
You don't want that.
It goes hangs parallel to your rig.
What's next?
Next, we have Happy Camper. Happy Camper is great. It is also an essential. And
we've been through, in 6 months, we've been through 1 of these. This is our second one.
The first one was much smaller than that.
Was it?
Yes.
It was like a round one.
Yes.
And this is still has quite a bit in it.
So this is the stuff you put in the tanks after you dump and you clean your black tanks out. You throw a scoop of that down there and it keeps it from smelling yucky. Next item on the list are chocks, and we have 2 sets of chocks.
Well, I have both those on there. This is referring to the chocks we put behind the tires,
Okay.
which are currently hooked up to the rig. We put the chocks behind the tires so that when we back up and hook up to the rig, it doesn't just keep lurching back. The very first time we did this, to hook up, we kept pushing back, and we looked down and the Lego blocks, the stabilizer was almost off the Lego blocks.
Whoops.
So don't do that. Put the chocks behind the tires.
Sloped hose support.
Ah, this. I don't know what to call this thing.
This
Sidewinder.
is a little accordion shaped device.
Yes, this guy.
And it gets your stinky slinky at the proper angle so that it slopes down into your sewer connection
Yes.
and not vice versa.
And don't forget, if you have 2 restrooms like we do, you need 2 of
sets.
these. So,
Okay.
that's that.
Next is extension.
Cord?
I'm
spell it wrong?
guessing CH.
Extension cord. I
Oh,
can't
cord.
spell it.
Okay. Extension cord.
So this is just a good old, this was on the Keep Your Daydream Amazon list. I have a lot of extension cords. But this is nice to have one that's specifically for the RV. It lights up at the end. I've used this for the remodel projects we've done.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to have it. So I like it.
And next page. Level Mate Pro.
Oh, let's talk about that.
So the Level Mate Pro is this fun little gizmo that you attach, I believe, underneath the bottom of your rig, and it helps you know when you're parking so that your rig is level.
This is such a good product that we left it in the packaging. And we waited 6 months to try to return it. So now we have this and don't need it.
Yeah.
We have auto stabilization on our RV.
Yeah,
So
and an auto level. So we haven't found a need for it. I know that a lot of people that swear by the Level Mate Pro boondock a lot, and so they are going to very rough sites. So I can imagine in that situation that it would be very useful. We particularly have not really used it that much.
Now that we
all.
cannot turn it in, or turn it back, return it, I think we'll probably just hook it up and see how it goes. If you have a travel trailer or you have a rig that doesn't auto stabilize, I can see how this would be really cool.
Yes.
What's next?
Next is the water pressure regulator.
Ah.
Water pressure regulator is a very important item because
This thing will keep your interior plumbing from blowing out. The water at RV parks can be really high pressure and can just blow your system apart. 6 months of use, this is the old one, it broke. So we bought a new one. I think they're like 12 bucks or something. So it started kind of leaking out the side. So, you know, just maybe every, 6 months, I guess you need a new one. But
Yeah.
they're not that expensive.
yeah.
What else?
The next one is a gray water hose.
So gray hose for the gray water. This is for hooking the water up to your RV to flush your tank out. It's nice that it's gray, that way it doesn't get mixed up. You don't have to get a gray one, you don't have to, it can be any kind of hose you want apparently, but I just like it for my OCD. Gray hose, gray water. What's next?
And is there a reason why you have this type of hose as opposed to the other type that
I think this
we
is
like?
less expensive.
Okay.
You can't drink out of this kind of hose. It's not a
Oh, it's not a drinkable hose.
potable, whatever it's called.
Water hose. Okay.
Also, while we're on the subject, let's talk about hoses, because hoses are coming up, I think. We had to buy, I don't know, 2 or 3 more hoses beyond just the Freshwater, because pretty much right out of the gate, our hookups for our water were like too far away. So I went out, I bought another zero hose, zero gravity. I don't know. It's kind
Zero kink thing.
Yeah. So
It's the soft one that you can scrunch into a little ball.
So I bought another one of those, and then I ended up buying another hose because I wanted to be able to wash the RV. About half of the time, less than half, what do you think, 10% of the time, you can wash your truck and your RV at an RV park. So when that happens, you don't have enough hose length to like get around the rig and the truck and all that stuff.
And one other thing, it's very nice to have a second hose to hook up to wash the dog with.
Yes,
too.
that too. Okay,
That
what's
helps.
next?
Gloves.
Yes, let's talk
Gloves
about
are very important.
So this is our second box of gloves.
Yes.
So 6 months, and I use these pretty liberally. because it grosses me out. So they're just disposable. They don't cost that much, and yeah. So in 6 months you'll go through a box.
Yep.
What's up next?
Digital air pressure reader.
Now this guy's cool because you can go back. I'm a little neurotic about tire pressure. I hear a lot of problems that people have with blowing out tires, over pressure, what's it called?
Inflating.
Overinflated or underinflated. So this, you can just make sure that that's not going to happen.
Freshwater hose.
Oh, that's pretty much what we talked about. So
well, you can grab the pretty one.
yes. This is a longer one that's now leaking on my leg.
All right.
So
it's called the 0G. Yes.
And these are really cool. Highly recommend them because they fit in small spaces and they don't kink very easily.
Yeah. Every once in a while they do, but they're pretty good. The next one is the X-Chocks.
Oh, right here.
X-Chocks are great. I notice whether they are installed much more than Bob.
I don't
They
notice them.
I notice them because in the morning before Bob's had his coffee, he tends to be a little bit more heavy-footed.
Anybody hear that? It's an impact tremor is what it is. I'm fairly alarmed here.
What are you trying to say?
You make noise.
Ah.
And so the X-Chocks really help stabilize the rig and keep it from, you feel steps when he's...
I put it in every time. Well, unless we just like overnight or whatever.
Yeah, if we boondock and it's just one
Yeah.
night, then we don't worry about it. But they are, I can tell a difference.
Yes.
So.
I should test that and like not put it in and see what you could tell.
Yeah, nice.
Nice try. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right, Lego blocks.
Oh, we can't show those because
We
they're
can't
under
show those because they're underneath all of the stabilizers right now.
Those come in super handy when you have an unlevel, which is almost always
An angled site or a sloped site.
slope site, and then you build the blocks up in the back. Lisa is really good at that. We used to try to both figure it out, and then it became an issue. So now she takes care of like 2 blocks there, 3 blocks there, and then the auto stabilization pretty much figures it out. But it's nice to like give
It's good to have the blocks to build up certain areas, because even with the auto stabilization, if you have one particular low spot and there isn't enough pipe on your stabilizer to get down, it'll be out of stroke, and then you have to start over.
Out of
that's
stroke.
Really frustrating.
When we first started doing this, we'd go out of stroke all the time. It was super annoying. So now we figured out how to do it.
Yep.
What's next?
Next one is a surge protector.
Yes.
Surge protector is awesome. It does exactly what it sounds like. It protects all of the electronics and anything that's running off electricity in your rig from power surges.
Yeah,
and
gotta
those
have it.
do happen every once in a while. Every once in a while something will happen at a park and there'll be a power surge there.
And it'll tell you, there's a little thing that shows you like what's happening and why things aren't working. So that's cool.
Next is the emergency kit.
Oh, here you go, the emergency kit. This is great. It has all sorts of stuff in it. We've used this.
We've used it for a couple things, just minor stuff. This is actually a first responder kit, so if you have medical training or something happens and you see somebody has medical training, this is one that you can take over. It's got everything from airway, access tubes. It's got everything
you need
in it.
We didn't want to skimp on safety. Danielle did cut her finger pretty good in Monterey, or outside of Monterey.
Yeah.
And we were glad to have all this.
Yeah,
So,
that was good.
what's next?
Next, I get to go to page 3. Camping chairs.
Ah, they're right here. Camping chairs. I think you can see them. Right here, yes. And right there.
Right there.
Those things have been great, but do remember, if you get these, to bring them in when it's raining. We've left them out in the rain a few times, and they're starting to rust a little bit, so that's our fault. They're not waterproof, but we enjoy them quite a bit. What's next?
The next is the canary.
Oh, let's talk about that for just a little bit.
Okay, I need you to go up and play in the yard. This one is the canary. And why do we like this, Bob?
This is great because, and the kids haven't figured out yet that this is more than just a remote thermostat. This actually can watch your kids when you're not in the rig through your phone. You hook it up to your phone, and now there's a camera, and you can actually watch and see what your kids are doing.
It's a motion sensor activated.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people grab them for their pets. Some of them just use them for a straight home security system on it.
We use
and
it to watch,
great.
to spy on our kids.
Yeah, we use it as a nanny cam.
What's up next?
Next is the camp cart,
Oh, back there.
which is our laundry cart, which I use a lot.
Yes. there
I
it is.
love the laundry cart. It folds up down pretty small.
Yeah.
And it holds roughly 5 loads of laundry. More
Yeah.
than that, you need to take 2 trips.
And just loading up the rig back and forth with our house and everything, it's great for just moving stuff. So it's really nice.
Yeah. Next are the red blocks.
Oh, look, they're so amazing. These things are so amazing here that we left them in the packaging. We never took these out once.
No.
So I thought they were going to be great, but again, with the auto stabilizing,
We just didn't need them.
Yeah.
And the next is a shower head, which
Shower
is
head.
inside
Yeah.
in the rig.
And we heard that the shower heads aren't very good, but we just let the shower go with the shower head we had. And it took about 3 months, 4 months.
4, maybe 5 months.
And then, yeah, it kind of failed. So we put
Yeah.
we had already purchased the shower head. Actually, I think Danielle gave that to me for Christmas. So we put it on and it works great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Walkie-talkies.
Oh, those are awesome. Walkie-talkies are great because the kids can go around the RV park and we can keep in touch with them. The more populated the area, the more chances somebody's going to be on your same station. You just kind of have to change the station. All right, what's next?
Hose splitter.
Oh, that's a good one. Now, I can't remember if we got this on the KYD site or not, but this is really good because you usually get one hose bib. So your fresh water comes off one, and then the other one is for when you flush your tanks or wash your car or wash your dog or whatever. So it's really good to have this.
Yep. Twist-on waste valve.
What's that? Oh,
Is that the slide valve that
Yes.
we use to jimmy
Yes,
rig our
right.
issue?
So this is actually on the KYD. This is one of the only items that's on the KYD Amazon page. We did not purchase because we really didn't know what it was, but you need to buy this one. We bought it because we had a disaster with the black tank. And I'll probably link that above.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Let's just say, go ahead and spend the $12 per.
And just-
trust me, you need this item.
Just have it with you,
Yes.
even if you don't install it, just have it with
Just
you.
because you will
so-
need it.
Yeah.
And if you don't need it, it's the best $12 insurance policy you can purchase.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, just get it.
And the
Okay.
last one is the dog bone,
Oh yeah, the dog bone. This is interesting.
which is a weird name.
They call this a dog bone. This is, so our rig is a 50 amp plug, which the plug comes with the RV. It's like the only thing that comes with the RV is the plug. And we purchased a dog bone so we could go from 50 to 30, because some campsites don't have 50, they just have 30. However, we had this came with the RV, so we were like, well, we now have 2 of these.
No, I was going to ask you what the difference was between this one and the one that's shiny in the box
The one
with
in
the
the
plastic
box.
wrapped around it.
The one in the box we purchased, this one came with the RV. So I guess we did purchase it. What we've noticed is
Really expensive.
Yes, really expensive. So what we noticed though is that the 30 amp at parks is fine most of the time, and we can run air conditioners, we can do everything. There was one park, I think in Pacific City, Oregon, they had some problems with that park's electricity or power.
Well, they were having issues. It was mostly because somebody backed into a site and they took out both the power pole and the water.
Yeah, so we had no
So
power,
they
we had
flooded
no
out
water.
part
Yeah.
of the campground for a while.
and
the
we got to-
power did funky things.
We got to see it happen. We were walking by and this guy goes wham right into the pole. Water goes everywhere. It was a mess. So,
Yeah.
So is that everything?
That is everything you have
Okay.
on the list.
Okay, so that's the whole list on the KYD Amazon page. We've bought other stuff along the way as we've needed, but we're not going to get into that. We just wanted to focus on 6 months with our purchases, the things we used, the things we didn't. This is PLATT365. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and we can't wait to see you next week.
Cracks me up.
So let's take a little moment to talk about what it's like to have a YouTube channel. We're trying to film this, And we've had airplanes go by, we've had trucks, there's a person doing a stump grinding next door, there's an ice cream truck in the background. It's just complete pandemonium here in upstate New York.
Yeah.
So that's just the list. It's a guy cutting down a tree.
Patience, Iago.
Okay,